So get ready with your routines, even though we are watching a film today, so that's a little bit of good news for you.
Natalia Juarez, please report to attendance.
I have hot.
Natalia Juarez, please report to attendance.
Copy. I don't need the outline, but it's nice to have
message. I need a dog.
That's all right. Yeah, it's a. It doesn't look like that. That's just it. That's the final thing. But I would love to have. I know that your biggest priority right now is to make sure your portfolio is in order. However, I do want you to just write down this agenda right now, because you'll have the period if you need to get things in order and you need to ask me things, whisper things to me, what is specifically about this aspect of the portfolio essay, and I can see what we can get done in the time we have. Go ahead and get this agenda down. You have a very basic assignment due this week. Of course, besides our large deadline today of your portfolio and your essay, I wanted you to at least attempt the essay, by the way, even if you felt like you were very confused or you weren't sure about how to make those analytical connections. If you even just attempted to summarize, use some quotes to describe what the book was about, and you did it in MLA formatting or you wrote it nicely down, these are ways in which those of you who might not be used to being consistent with writing essays because you don't understand it, that's a way for you to get a leg up in my class. I need to be able to see your work if I'm going to help you improve as a writer. So just a heads up with that those of you who don't have your essay today, because you're like, I don't get it and I just didn't do it, and you know who you are, and you're going to maybe turn in some portfolio stuff, but you're going to be missing aspects of it. I don't want you to forget this week. I don't want you to forget that you can still turn in your essay. I am not a person that believes in one day as a deadline, because as I've already heard from 2 or 3 people, there are issues and we make mistakes, so we procrastinate, or we're busy a weekend and I just now learned how to do something and then I wait to the last minute. So there might be things that is your fault, other people's fault, whatever, power outages, whatever. But then the deadline happens and you literally fail if you don't turn something in. I don't want you to fail based on not turning something in. This is going to sound weird, but I'd rather you fail by turning something in and not understanding it, and so you get a grade back, but you also get notes and feedback so that then you can improve it. Remember, what can you do with all my assignments potentially? When you turn them in and you get them back with a grade you don't like, what can you do? You just forget about it, throw it away? You can revise it, and that's what I'm going to encourage you guys to do with your essays. And we're going to actually have a time to do that, where you get back your work and you're going to fix the work. And you're going to revise it. So we'll do one round of revision. That's coming up later after I get these graded. So I know it's going to feel weird because you're going to be out of the mindset of Fahrenheit when you get these book essays back. That's part of academics. It's part of getting into the higher grades of high school and into college for some of you, for many of you, hopefully for most. Yes?
On Friday I emailed you a rough draft.
Great, and I can print that out. I did not get to peer edit this weekend. I was busy. All right, let me walk through what we're doing this week, and then I'll talk specifically about what I expect from the portfolios. It's at the end of the period. And then finally, I will introduce Equilibrium, which is the film that we're analyzing. You do have an assignment that's attached to it. It's due at the end of the week. And we are following the typical pattern of Tuesday. The only thing that we're not doing is on Tuesday, we're not doing the creative thing because you are working through the film analysis. It's a continuation of today. On Wednesday, Life Hack will be on introducing your choice novel project and hopefully getting you kind of some basic skills like about enjoying books. I know it's hard to do, but hopefully there's ways in which you can connect to something that's written that you like to read. It's a daunting task for some of you, but I hope that I can achieve it at least by the end of the year. If I can achieve nothing else, it's that you come out of this class thinking, you know, I read one good book this time and I enjoyed reading it. And if I can get you to do that, I think you'll be on the right path. So that's on Wednesday. On Thursday will be a Socratic seminar. And it'll be on this topic of comparing the film that we're about to start with Fahrenheit 451. Randy.
Okay, so I was doing a little bit of research on Fahrenheit 451, and I found out a little bit of cool, simple little information.
Do you want to share right now?
Yeah, okay. Can I?
Is it quick? Because I do want to get us started. Yeah.
Okay, so I figured out why the book is called Fahrenheit 451 because paper burns at the degree of 451.
Very good. So if you were here in the beginning of the, were you here in the beginning of the book? So for those of us who were here in the beginning of the book, it was, it's in fact on the cover of the book, and we did talk about that as the evaluation. So Fahrenheit 451 is, but that's interesting that you discovered that. It's cool that you got that on your own.
And Faber is the name of the pencil company.
Really? Oh, that's interesting. So that's a good thing. Anything else? When you get your assignment today, you're going to put plus during your paper for making those discoveries. So thank you. I appreciate it. Salamanders, the name of the fire truck. I didn't talk about this because it's not that important, but it's interesting. Salamanders were known throughout literature and history as being a special fire lizard that never burned. They had like this wet, scaly fat that's like, so that's why the salamander, that's why it's called the salamander, that's why they have this. You might have wondered, maybe not. Probably didn't care. Anyways, so you're going to get a debate question today, and then your equilibrium, I'll tell you a little bit about that in portfolio. And then down at the bottom, there'll be the end of that debate question, a Socratic seminar. The debate question is very simple. It's about whether we're going to head towards Fahrenheit or are we heading towards equilibrium. And I'll talk a little bit more about that and give you the assignment that goes with it. Your due date for things is the Socratic seminar notes. So you'll have Socratic seminar notes, TC Lab 7, you'll have that going in the lab, typing those up, but you'll also be turning in the assignment that's going with it. Any type of late portfolio, late essays, by Friday, so if you get it in on Friday, it'll be a reduced letter grade, but it's better than not having it in at all. Before Friday, if you get in anything before Friday, you know it's late, it won't count as late. So my grading windows are more like a general thing. So just a heads up, you have like a couple of days, but by Friday it's a low grade. So if you didn't have a thing in or you want to get that last worksheet in or whatever, that's just an extra 40 points, extra 50 points, whatever you are missing. Get those in this week because you have nothing else really for me except for prepping, but you can do that during class. Let me go ahead and you're going to write down the debate question now. And while you're doing so, I'm going to be passing out the assignment that goes with this Socratic seminar. So your debate question is as follows. Which of the two types of societies is ours most likely headed towards? So I'm forcing you into a dichotomy. That is between two options. The two options are inevitable, meaning you can only choose one. You can't say, well, we're not going to go to either one. I don't really care about your third option. Unless you really want to ask that question, is there something third that we're doing? I suppose you could go there. I don't want to limit you too much. But for the sake of argument, let's say we're heading in one direction. After we watch this film by Wednesday, you'll have an answer to this question about whether you think we're heading more in the direction of the society of equilibrium, or if we're heading more towards the society as shown in Fahrenheit 451. So once again, there's two choices. I'm going to set up the exposition so you kind of know what you're looking for in the film story. And we analyze film in this class the same way we analyze our novels. Not quite as in depth, obviously, because we spent a short amount of time on it. And certainly films are really kind of more fun content. This is inherently an action film at heart. So you'll enjoy the explosions and the shooting and the fight scenes. Some pretty cool action. It stars Christian Bale. So he's the Dark Knight, Batman. So you're writing down the debate question once again. in your agendas or on your piece of paper that will become your seminar notes. Writing down the debate question, Adler? Okay. Shh. A little bit extra talking there. Once again, because this is about to leave, so make sure you get this down. You got about 30 seconds. Which of the two types of societies are we most likely headed towards? Are we more likely to become equilibrium, or are we more likely to become Fahrenheit? You know quite a bit about Fahrenheit society and its similarities to ours. Bradbury represents a lot of predictions that seem to have been coming true. He seems to be a prophetic voice of the 1950s. With the advent of television, mass communication, politics based on image and rhetoric as opposed to policy or truth or consistency. Equilibrium has got a similar dystopic view of society, but there'll be marked differences. I'm going to explain the exposition right now. That is the start of the story. It starts after a nuclear holocaust. Wars have divided people for too long. Rage, destruction, hatred of one another. And so in the aftermath of a great atomic war, they have conceived of a society in which people are perfectly safe. They've done so in different ways than what Fahrenheit is emphasizing. So I want you to identify what those are. So I'm going to start with that as the basic exposition. They've created a safe society after the midst of a horrible world war. Everyone have the debate question written down. While you are doing these, really you don't have to do line paper notes, because the worksheet that I just passed out is sufficient to compare and contrast the two stories. One story is based in 2076, so this equilibrium after an atomic war. The other story is also after an atomic war that's much less emphasized, but has a very different reason for its dystopic view. People are doing different things in one society than the other. So I want you to do the differences. In the notes, it goes in categories. So how are the characters different? Our central character, Christian Bale, how is he similar? How is he different than Guy Montag? How is the setup of the story different? What are the different settings? What are the different themes? What is it saying about how society works? One or the other. And which one are we headed to is going to be the argument that you make at the end. That's the open-ended thing here. All right. While we watch, it's the typical etiquette, the same as if we were reading a novel, because the story is theatrically done. It's conveyed to you. You will need to listen, because I do require seeming matters. That is, you listen for quotes. You can summarize the quotes if you like. That doesn't bother me. And you can use those to help identify what's going on in the setting, what are the characters doing, and what are the themes of the society. So go ahead and do that for both sides there. If you have individual questions about your portfolio or essay, I can come around. You just raise your hand very quietly, and we can do that. If you need to print something out, for instance, we can do that as well. Okay, hold on. Let me just get this set up here. Turn off the lights, please, Brandon.